Joining us now is Tony Wheeler, and of course we know him from the Lonely Planet, but such a lot of wisdom. I want to ask you first of all, what is the first few things you notice when you visit a place?
Do you know, I'm a great believer in walking, and any place I go, the first thing I do is leave the hotel room, shut the door, don't think about the taxis and buses and so on, get out there on foot. It's walking around places that you really discover them, that you bump into people, that conversations start, that you see things at a slower pace. So I'm a great believer in getting out there and walking.
And that would mean, because you're seeing the natural elements and the people as part of the nature.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're seeing it more at a better pace. You know, we rush everywhere these days, that things just flash past us and they're forgotten. When you're walking, you see things at the speed God intended.
When you started Lonely Planet, did you ever think this is where you're going? Because people always say, have a goal, set a goal. But did you really know where you were going?
No. I did one book and then I thought of another one and then another one. And I think at the point I got to 5, I thought, well, maybe I can think of 10. And then when you get to 50, you can think of 100. And then somehow the numbers just grow and grow. And of course it became much more than just books. It became, there were television series, there were websites, there was all sorts of things. So it became much more than just the books that we started with. But at the end of the day, it really was gathering information and providing it to people. And that was one of the things I really always liked about it. I always enjoyed the learning process, because you were educating yourself and then passing that information on.
You're always associated with writing, but also you're associated with tourism. From your perspective, when a nation is going through the tourism process, marketing itself, what are the essential things one should keep in mind, according to you?
I think the most important thing, the thing that really tells you you've done a good job on it, is when people want to come back. You can always get people to go to a place once, but it's if they come back, then you think, well, something's working here, we're doing something right. So it's almost, you want to talk to the people who come back a second time and say, why have you come back? What is it that... and sometimes also countries will, or places even, will have something that really attracts people, but it's the secondary destinations, the things that bring them back the second time.
Okay, you've been to Oman before. Now that you're here, what would you like to visit or see?
I'd like to have more time in the mountains and the wadis and more time on the coast. I think in a way I've neglected the coast. I haven't done enough of that. I'm told there's great diving off Oman. Haven't done that yet, and I'm a very keen scuba diver.
Well, I hope you do it this time, the diving.
Why not?
And I like the way you described it, Oman. It's a wild nation, wild country.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you've got a lot of... You've got the man-made, the things that human beings have created, the forts, the mosques, the city. You've got those things. And I remember going down to, what's the town down at the very end of the coast where they build dhows? So that's it. And seeing the dhows being built, and that was terrific. So there are things that people are building, but you've also got a great natural sites as well. You've got the mountains, you've got the wadis, you've got the coast. There's a lot more to it than you can just see in one quick glance.
You've given the Lonely Planet as a part of the business deal, of course, and you've got a charity going on. Does writing urge you again? Do you want to write?
I've written 2 books in the last few years, one called Badlands and one called Darklands, and I'm actually working on a new project at the moment, which brings in airlines and travel and where we fly to these days.
Excellent. Well, wish you the best. I'm looking forward to that book. And thank you for giving us your time.
Thank you.
And that is, of course, a real pleasure to meet up with Tony Wheeler. Pleasure, and we're looking forward to the book.
Thank you very much.
You've been listening to The Talk.